Welcome back to weekly update number 14. Today we got a few fun things to do. So first off, we're going to be planting some flowers outside of the garden, and then we got some other tasks to do inside the garden. But then I'm going to give you a whole garden tour for those that have just joined us and to give a full update on how all our plants are doing. So we got another little project here. So it's kind of a pain to try to mow and trim around this wood here. If I trim too close, it kind of rips up the wood. Can't get close enough with the mower. And I got some new bulbs for flowers that I want to plant along this edge. So I got my 4 different flower packs, I guess. So we got 3 of these, 8 hollyhocks, 3 peonies, and then 5 astilbes. And I'm just gonna figure out how to plant them along the edge. I also have some weed barrier. I might need to get some more, kind of running low on that, and then some metal stakes for the weed barrier. After a while thinking, I think I'm got the first thing mapped out. So the hollyhocks, I don't know if I think those roots all dried out, so I don't think those are good to plant anymore. But we got these astilbe mix, and I think I'm just gonna kind of do it like the photo here and have 5 in kind of an X shape, 2 in the front, 1 in the middle, and then 2 in the back, like I have set up here. Right here. All right, so I got a little soil from the garden just to kind of put in the bottom of this. Where did that? Oh, nice. Just smashed it. Be fine. Kind of put it in the bottom of these just to give it a little better soil to get started with. So we'll just put them right there and then fill over with this good soil. All right, we got those 5 planted, and then next to those, it's either the peonies or the aguilegia. I don't remember. But here's the hollyhocks. You can just see that they're all dried out, so those ones are no good. I'll have to get some more if I want those, but these other ones look fine, so we can get those in. The peonies, I'm going to put one here, and then one in the middle of this row, and then one symmetrical to this one on the other side. And then I'll get some flowers to put in between them. Maybe I could do these Aquilagia, I don't know, Aquilagia ones in between here. Maybe I could put like one in between. They just don't get that wide, so I feel like I need like a pack of 3 in between each side. Maybe I can get another set of 3 of these. There we go. So we got everything cleaned up here. Got my herbs over here, my piece of broccoli, some lettuce. The garlic and onion is back here. I still got to peel that. And then carrots and Brussels sprouts. All right, and there is the finished product. So I actually cooked all the stuff and then put it on top of the lettuce. And there's also some of the green onion on the bottom. First up, we got the front of my garden. Got this trellis where I have a climbing rose bush, and then I planted these flowers earlier in the video, and then I'm going to plant more down the end, down to the end. So we got a climbing rose here, and then we'll walk into the garden and see what we got started on the left side here. Kind of give you a overview. Climbing rose. We got a bunch of Brussels sprouts back here. This one's being absolutely destroyed by, I'm not sure, like little black bugs. And then I think it's just some caterpillars, um, maybe cabbage moth caterpillars. I didn't think this through too well. I planted a bunch of different brassicas next to each other, which is not a good idea, just because they have the same pests and diseases. I should have spread them out a little better. But so I got the Brussels sprouts back here. I have some onions. You can see in here in between them. Try to help with the pests. Hasn't, I don't know. It could have done something. Haven't really noticed too much. And then up next we got 3 broccoli here, and then 4 more broccoli here, and then 2 cauliflower on the end, or 4 cauliflower over here. So we got tomatillos there, getting quite big. And then I just got onions in between just to help with pests. So we got 6 jalapenos here. These are a little smaller. They had a later start. I probably should have started them inside a little earlier than I did. And I just don't think it was warm enough in my grow tent, so they didn't grow too well. But they're starting to get bigger. We're starting to see a few flowers on them, so they're doing well. So then it kind of gets a little crazy back in this corner. I try to do a little more companion planting here. We have celery. We got 4 of those. Behind those, along the fence all around, are just some pole beans. They're already climbing over the fence. So we got a bunch of those planted along the fence. I don't know if there's any flowers on them yet. No, I don't see anything yet. So we got 2 zucchini plants. This is a spaghetti squash, I'm pretty sure. One of these is spaghetti squash and one's butternut squash. Not remembering which is which. Back here, we have a bunch of popcorn and then more beans back behind those. All right, and as we move along the outside here, we have 10 asparagus plants. I'm letting them grow out this year before I harvest them next year. It's just good to let the roots develop. And then behind those, we have a bunch of cucumbers, specifically pickling cucumbers. So I'll finish up the outside row. So back in this corner, we have 3 different watermelon. Well, 2 different types, 3 different plants. We have sugar baby sweet or something like that, and then an orange crush watermelon. And then right here we have a muskmelon or cantaloupe. Moving along up this way, we have a raspberry that hasn't started growing yet. I'm not sure if it's dead. And then we got 3 different blackberries. And on the end of this outside row, this used to be a raised bed. Actually converted this into the bed on the ground from the old raised bed wood that fell apart in the last episode, I believe. But this is just where all my herbs are. So I got some basil over here, sage here, oregano, thyme, and peppermint. And then I also had a little extra room, so I planted 2 more tomato plants, which I have a bunch more later on. All right, so now moving on to the raised beds in the middle of the garden. First up, we have kind of planted lower growing plants here just so they wouldn't shade out my other plants. First off, I have some garlic here. There's more garlic planted here. Hasn't started growing yet. All here are onions. So I had a bunch of onions planted throughout the garden. I also have a ton planted here that I'm gonna either like pickle or use for salsa and just save throughout the year. And then at the end of this row, we have a bunch of carrots, 3 rows of carrots. I also have some things planted on the outside in some pots. I have, so this is a dwarf lemon Meyer, and then this is a pomegranate that I accidentally put out too early, and it killed most of the branches. However, the roots are still okay. I'm going to need to get a new pot for this. I actually switched this lemon with the pomegranate just because the lemon was not, this just doesn't, these don't hold as much water, and it was drying this out, and that's why you see a lot of brown branches on it. So in our next bed, we have 4 rows of peas, so 2 on each side of this trellis, and then 2 on this side, and then in between those, we have some more carrots of a different variety. I did not make this trellis nearly tall enough, so these are just falling over, and yeah, I'm going to have to do something different next year about that. So in this next bed, next to the peas and carrots, we got a bunch of different lettuces and cabbage. So, I mean, we had spinach. These are just head lettuce, and then a bunch of cabbage. These are cabbages, which the cabbage caterpillars or moths are definitely getting to these guys as well. And then I've also planted, I took some of the old spinach out and stuff like that, and I planted dill down here. So those are starting to come up, and then some cilantro over in this area. Oh, and then there's some green onions here as well. And then a couple tomatoes at the end of the row right here. And here is my tomato raised bed. So we got, I think, 12 tomatoes here. We got 2 at the end, some more onions, and then actually a grape here at the end. And I'm going to have to try to build a trellis or something. So I got 3 different varieties. This side I'm not too sure on. The other side I know I have, what was it, 3 or 4? I might have 4 different varieties. Because I have a big beef kind, um, a Roma, and a San Marzano. San Marzano is like a Roma tomato, good for like sauces and stuff like that. And then I also have like a cherry, but it's like, it might even be smaller than cherry. I forget what they're called. They're like candy tomatoes. And I think that's this one because you can see a ton of tomatoes over here. And right next to those, we have some bigger Brussels sprouts. So we had some Brussels sprouts in the top corner. These are actually absolutely getting destroyed by... Oh, there's a bug that is helping me. It's got a caterpillar. Good job, bug. Bug here. It's got a hold of that caterpillar. So if you look right here, there's a bug and then a caterpillar. It's eating. All right, and it's getting a little dark, but here is my other strawberry patch. So one's June bearing and one is ever bearing. I'll have to check on which one is which again. I think this one might be the June bearing one because we're starting to get a bunch of flowers right now. And then also in this row, we have some more onions, ton of weeds I gotta pick out of here. And then we got some different peppers. So we have some bell peppers, and then some chili peppers. And then this last raised bed, this is my potato bed. So we got these purple potatoes mostly growing over here. And then I did plant some like Idaho potatoes down here. They haven't came up quite yet, I don't believe, unless... No, I don't see anything yet. And then some sweet potatoes as well. So these are sweet potatoes starting to come up here and here. Oh, and there. So those are starting to grow. And those will go crazy, so I'll have to probably put those, trying to train them out into this area, kind of. But that is all for the garden tour.